Alright, what's up guys, my name is Eric, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how to stop watching pornography, masturbation, and orgasms. So, currently I'm reading the Atomic Habits, and I've read the Easy Peasy Hack book. Phenomenal books, both of them. So, what I've learned from this is basically pornography, masturbation, or orgasms are bad habits. Obviously, they're bad habits that we formed throughout the years. And so, what I want to really teach you in this video and make you understand is that, well, first of all, you need to read the Atomic Habits and the ECPC Hack book. They're gonna make you understand more of why exactly you're doing this and how to stop it, right? So I'm gonna give you a little bit of summary from what I've read and understand, so that way you can implement it and read the books yourself. So basically, the Atomic Habits, what it says is you need to break down these bad habits. But how do you break them down? So basically, to break down, there's various steps you could do. I haven't fully read it. I'm halfway through the book, but so far, the way to destroy or to eliminate a bad habit is to get it out of your vision. For an example, if I'm addicted to watching porn, masturbating, and orgasms, and my room is full of like sexual posters of women that are nude in bikinis and stuff like that, I need to take that out, because that is gonna feed into the mindset, and it's gonna feed into like that little monster. That's how the ECPC Hack book calls it, the little monster, that gives this like craving of like, oh, I see nudity, I see this woman like that, oh, I want to masturbate, I want to reach orgasms, I want to like watch porn and stuff like that. So that's one of the ways to destroy that, is to get it out of your vision. You're never gonna completely forget the bad habit, as the Atomic Habits book clearly says. You can form good habits and destroy bad habits, but you're never gonna truly forget them, because it's embedded in your mindset. Like that time that you did something bad, you're gonna remember it. You might be like, oh, I'm not that person anymore, that happened years ago, but you're still gonna remember it because it's in your mindset. It's in your mind. It's in your memory. So with this, I also like to point out that social apps that you use are also bad. For an example, if you're on TikTok and your For You page and suggestion page or whatever, the videos that pop up are explicit photos of like girls doing thirst traps and stuff like that, then you need to change your algorithm. If you can't change your algorithm, create a new account. If in your new account the same thing occurs at the beginning of creating it, completely change from the social media to a different social media, or just completely delete the account and uninstall the app, so that way you don't get those videos popping up on your feed and feeding into that mindset of like, oh, look at that ass, look at the woman with the curves and stuff like that. You want to completely delete that, right? The same goes for Instagram, Facebook, and stuff like that, and YouTube. YouTube is a little bit more strict on this aspect, and Facebook, I think, as well. But here and there, you're gonna get people bypassing security bots and whatnot, and uploading weird videos and explicit videos. But like I said, you can change the algorithm. The For You page, the suggested page, the videos that pop up, you can truly change them and have other stuff. Like, let's say you're into funny videos or you're into mechanic, you can build that yourself with the algorithm by liking and engaging on posts, and that kind of changes the way things appear in your cell phone and your smartphone and your computer. The other thing is changing the environment. Like I said, taking out the posters and images that you have, if you have images like that, it's also like changing wallpapers. If you have explicit wallpapers, change them. And let's say right now I'm here in my room. This is my bedroom, right? That's this is my bed right here. And right here I got like a desktop where I have two monitors, the keyboard, a laptop, and the desktop PC down below. And this is like my study workstation that I have right now. But the room that I'm in, as you can see, like in the fogged mirror, or I don't know what type of mirror is this, but yeah, you can kind of see I have a curtain and I have windows. Now, if you generally watch porn and masturbate and consume this type of adult content in a room that's closed, you don't got people watching you and whatnot, you want to switch to a different area. Let's say you switch to studying and working at the living room where there's a lot of windows, a lot of light, and people could see you. Your neighbors, people who pass by could see you and hear you. So that makes it unattractive. Like the Atomic Habit books clearly says that to also destroy a bad habit is to clearly make it unattractive. And this is one of the unattractive sides because you're thinking, okay, people are gonna see me, and that's fucked up. That's weird. You're gonna be unattractive to doing it at that moment because you're out in public or people can see you. If you live in a room or a house or a apartment or a place that's rent, like a studio apartment, then you might be like, I have no place that people can literally see me. Then when you proceed to work or study, go to the local cafe, go to local libraries and stuff like that. Places where there's people in them, there's cameras, there's, a lot of movement going on. So at that point where you try to consume the content, you're gonna be uncomfortable, and that's gonna make it unattractive. Now, I'm saying this at the top of my head. I have no script whatsoever, so there's a little bit more steps, but I don't remember them as much. So that's why I really suggest to read the Atomic Habit books. Sorry if I mess up the words, because I literally read this in Spanish. My main language is Spanish. So the Atomic Habits book. There, I said it correctly. And the ECPC hack book. Now, you might be wondering, what is a hack book? A hack book is basically, from my understanding, is basically, let's say we got the Atomic Habits book, and I pick up something from here, like the system, but I want to implement it into something else that is not a habit, but something else, and I use the same system. What I do is I change the meaning of, instead of using the word habits or stuff that's related to the habits, I use what I want to concentrate on. And I change it into saying like, okay, instead of atomic habits, atomic, let's say, I don't know, something like atomic adjectives or something. That's an example. I don't know if that's even a real thing, but you kind of like switch it up there and change certain words. And it's a hack book because you hack the book's like subject to use like the same system on your own, or the subject that you wanted to cover. So basically that's it. And yeah, with this I like to leave it. I'm obviously gonna make more videos related to this topic in the future, but I wanted to make this little short video because I know there's a lot of people, that suffer from this, have addictions. And before I end it, I do remember another thing from the ECPC hack book and from the Atomic Habit books, is that your mindset also needs to change, in the essence that, like, if you see yourself as an addict, think otherwise. And this is gonna sound like counterintuitive to it, because you might be thinking, it doesn't kind of make sense, because if I'm an addict, I'm obviously seeking help. But in this process of help, you need to think and see yourself as someone who doesn't need to masturbate, watch porn, and reach orgasms. Because once you start thinking like that, your behavior and how you act and receive things is going to change. The other thing is the withdrawal pangs. The withdrawal pangs. Basically, this is like the secondary or after effect. Basically, the after effect of stopping masturbation and stopping consuming porn and whatnot. Because it's like, I'll give it in this aspect that you'll understand. When you smoke a cigarette, you receive the dopamine from the nicotine, right? And so the nicotine makes you feel relaxed, but the after effect when you stop using it is that it makes you feel anxious. So what do? You kind of like can leave it there, but some people say, oh, the nicotine made me feel relaxed, so I'll just light up another cigarette, and then you take another hit, and you're like, oh, I feel calm. But after you stop smoking, you also get the same hit back, which is like the after effect of feeling anxious. So you're in this cycle. So the withdrawal pain in pornography and masturbation is that you get this urge of like anxiety. And so you need to find something that calms you down that's not negative. You also don't want to switch a bad habit with another bad habit. And you can use a neutral habit. A neutral habit could be just watching YouTube videos that are funny, educational, and maybe watching a movie or funny videos or listening to music or stuff like that, or playing games. I think playing video games is not a bad habit or a positive habit. I would say playing games is a neutral habit because you can enjoy the games. So you could switch it for a positive habit or a neutral habit that you enjoy and makes you feel like, it releases dopamine, but not in a really like overstimulating way, like pornography or drugs or cigarettes or alcohol or junk food. You don't want none of that. So the the reason I also said to take out the things and change your environment is because you don't want to have sneak peeks, because sneak peeks signal to the brain like, oh, I just saw this woman doing this, and you might be thinking, oh, I just got an erection, let me just open up the browser, or oh, let me just masturbate real quick, because that is totally bad. The book, the Atomic Habit books, literally says that when people were consuming, there's a study where people were consuming cocaine. At the first time, they saw the cocaine and they didn't get the hit of dopamine. They only got the hit of dopamine after consuming the cocaine. Now, the next time they saw the cocaine, they already got the hit of dopamine before consuming the cocaine. And if they didn't consume the cocaine, their dopamine receptors would just drop off and then kind of return. And then like if they would get that hit of dopamine and then consume the cocaine, they would get another hit of dopamine and then they would drop off. So dopamine is actually like a double-edged sword depending on how you consume it. So you also want to keep that in mind, is that let's say you go skydiving. Skydiving is not a bad thing, but when you're skydiving, you're gonna get that hit of dopamine of like, wow, this is amazing, this is so exciting. And once you reach the down point, that graph dopamine is gonna go like, oh, I was skydiving, it was amazing. It goes down because you're not doing the same thing that was exciting. You're just on a neutral basis. So you really want to like be in that neutral basis. Of course, you're not gonna be in that neutral basis 24/7. You're gonna have like ups and downs. But what you don't want to have is like a huge amount of like ups and downs, because that's what porn does. And skydiving is totally normal. Skydiving is not bad, but you want to keep that in mind. And yeah, without further ado, I'm about to end this video. But before I do, I'm about to leave the links to the ECPC hack book in the description. You should buy this book, The Atomic Habits. If you want to buy it on ebook, if you want to buy it like physical copy, you should. It's a really amazing book. And yeah, also the ECPC hack book has a audiobook. It's also available in various languages. So if you don't read English, you can read it in Spanish, you can read it in Dutch, any other type of language. I think French also. French. I don't know how to say it. But yeah. Anyways, that's it for the video. I'm gonna be making more videos like this in the future. Maybe not a continuation from this video, but when I completely have read this book and completely understood the problems and the solutions to like masturbation and pornography and orgasms, I'll definitely make a video, because I'm saying this at the top of my head, so it's gonna sound kind of messy and scribbly, but I'll make a really in-depth video. I'll even search information and whatnot, and yeah, that's it.